Good morning. It is day 4 of the Oxford Film Fest, and we are so excited to have some people here talking with us. I'm going to let them tell their name and the name of their project.
Hello, I'm Dava Whisenant. I'm the director of Bathtubs over Broadway.
Steve Young. I'm the subject of Bathtubs over Broadway.
Great. I'm so glad y'all come and sit and talk with us this morning. How did you hear about your subject?
I used to be an editor at The Late Show with David Letterman, and I met him there, and that was many years ago. And he told me, well, he didn't tell me when we worked together that he was collecting these crazy records of corporate musicals. I found that out later after I moved to Los Angeles. But in the course of working for the show, he had stumbled on this insane subject. I'll let him tell you about what the movie's about.
We please, sir?
So I used to be a writer for David Letterman. I spent 25 years working for him, and one of the tasks that I had as a writer was collecting material for a bit called Dave's Record Collection, in which we would make fun of weird record albums. So I was going out to find the raw material for this segment, and I kept finding these souvenir albums from company meetings and corporate conventions, and they were musicals, which seems insane. There were whole musicals about Ford tractors and selling tires and the problems of being a Coca-Cola bottler, and they were not all terrific, but a lot of them were really great, and I just thought, this is better than anything I could have imagined, and I want all of this that I can find, and I want to find the people who did this and wrote them and performed in them. And eventually, as the years went by and I amassed a collection and then co-wrote a book about this, that's when filmmakers began to ask, could there be a documentary here? And Dava stepped in and said, this is going to be what I'm going to do. And I said, thank you for stepping forward. Yes, this is exactly what's going to happen. And that was 5 years ago now. The movie was done about a year ago, and we've been touring around with it for much of the past 9 months or so.
One of our favorites is from the musical The Bathrooms Are Coming, which was a plumbing musical, and the song, it's a beautiful song called My Bathroom, and that's featured in the movie, and it's you can't believe how beautiful and how hilarious this is all at the same time.
Which one was your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
The American Standard Bathroom Fixture musical is always right up there. I also put right at the top of the list the Detroit Diesel Engine musical from 1966 with all the songs about selling and servicing diesel engines, which is just crazy. Just when you hear about it, that's got to be a joke, and then it's real and it's sincere, and the talent behind it was absolutely first rate, and you just think, what a miracle that I have stumbled upon this alternate universe of show business. It made me so happy.
Did you ever get to meet any of the people that wrote the songs, or I was involved in the making of their musical?
Actually, Dava managed to set up a lot of shoots in which I meet people and talk to them, in some cases never having met them before. And you see on camera my first meeting with some of these people who to me are legends. The outer, wider world may not always know who they are, although there were quite a few famous Broadway talent who worked on these projects as well, and some of those people are in the movie also.
Amazing. Who are some of the talents?
We've got the writers of Fiddler on the Roof, Sheldon Harnick. Actually, his partner Jerry Bach is no longer with us, but Cheetah Rivera is in it. Florence Henderson, you know her from the Brady Bunch, but we know her from the Oldsmobile musicals. Martin Short, and Dave Letterman is in the movie as well, because we follow Steve as he starts as a very cynical comedy writer at the Late Show, through him learning that the show is wrapping up, and then what happens to him after. So, yeah.
What was it like working with David Letterman?
Well, he was a wonderfully sharp and curious person, and I was thrilled that he became a supporter of this movie. He's an executive producer on the movie as well as appearing in the movie. He recognized in my curiosity something of the spirit that he likes to cultivate about doing something weird and cool for the right reasons, just out of love and curiosity. And so he signed on to be a part of this project as well, which we're thrilled about. But yeah, I worked for him for 25 years, and I have what I call comedy damage, which comes up in the movie. I've seen too many jokes, and they often don't make me laugh anymore. And I think Dave Letterman also has a touch of that. But anytime you could make Dave Letterman laugh, you felt like you'd really accomplished something. So I enjoyed the instances where I really tickled his funny bone in a way that he wasn't expecting.
What was the most memorable part of this project for you?
I would say it was shining a light on some performers and composers who thought that no one would ever understand what they did or appreciate what they did, and being able to knock on their door and say, hey, we think what you did on this 66 car musical was beautiful. And so that's been really the most satisfying thing. And to bring them out and get them together and have them perform again was just a really marvelous experience. Yeah.
Have any of those people seen the finished product?
Yes, very luckily, even some of our most senior dear friends, people in their 90s, have managed to stay with us and see this thing come to fruition. My dear friend Hank Beebe, he's 92 years old, lives in Portland, Maine. He worked on these corporate gigs for many years, assumed no one would ever understand what he had done or care or ask him about it. And then I show up, and by the end of the movie, without giving too much away, I have actually come to collaborate with him on a new song that we've written together, which is a big part of the movie at the end.
Whenever I heard about this project, I thought, what a unique way to get creatives an opportunity to show their work. Because like you said, I had never heard of any of these before. And so was there anybody that did not want their project put out there?
No, and that was the crazy thing is I thought people would maybe not want to talk to us, that there was maybe, I wondered if there was a stigma attached to this work. And on some level, I think that was true. But, the most famous people in the film were so proud of these shows. They gave them, and we have a 5-time Tony-winning choreographer and director who said that she, this gave her the skills she needed to be a Broadway star. It let her try new things. Cheetah Rivera and Florence Henderson were so proud of being involved in these things. Also said that it helped them learn. And then some of the people who didn't become super famous, they I think were maybe hesitant at first. They didn't know if we were going to be making fun of them, because some of the musicals are very funny. I think they weren't quite sure where we were going to take it. But then, when I started the project, I wasn't quite sure where I was going to take it. But it was seeing his connection to these people develop over all these years to the point where he gets teary talking about it in some of the interviews. I thought that's really what this is about. That's the heart of this, his connection with them and what he's able to do by collecting all of these things that were just supposed to be disposed of. No one was supposed to keep these albums. No one was ever going to see these shows more than the one time that year when it came out. And he has saved this part of American culture. So I think everybody's really happy with the project and proud to be a part of it because of that reason.
What about you?
I'm thrilled that Dava found so many facets to this project. If you see the movie, you'll understand, wow, this is very hilarious and very bizarre, and that would have been enough, maybe. But then we have all this commentary about American history and how American businesses used to have a certain relationship with their employees, and they really felt like we're all a family, and we're going to be together every year, and we're going to have this convention every year at which we all recommit ourselves to working together. And I think we've lost some of that, and we're trying to get back to it now. So that's part of the movie that really resonates with people. But the unlikely beginning of these bizarre corporate musicals as a vehicle for taking me on this journey where I go from sort of cynical and disconnected to really feeling like I can meet people and be curious about them and love and respect the great things they've done. That's why people come out of the movie crying happy tears quite often.
That's wonderful. Thank y'all for doing this for America. I mean, because this is something we wouldn't know about without y'all.
It's hard to top The Bathrooms Are Coming.
What a great thing.
I thought he made it
I thought he made it up too.
And like it was this thing in our family.
I was working at the Letterman show as a comedy writer. I started finding these mysterious corporate records. Musicals, but about tractors or silicone products. I didn't know anything about musical theater, but I was pretty sure it wasn't supposed to be this.
My bathroom is a private kind of place.
The dishwasher and the disposal.
Everybody was doing these things. Giant companies, tiny companies.
If the patient gets bloody.
I found some sort of treasure trove that we weren't supposed to know about at all.
It's the way. Yes, sir. Everything's coming out, it go.
I had no hobbies. I barely had any friends outside the show. Hello.
Well, hi, Steve.
Hello, Sheldon.
Welcome to Casa Mia.
But I knew I've got to have as much of this as I can find.
Oh my God!
These are people who have changed American culture.
It was a dream job.
And there were a lot of them.
It was almost like having a door open to a secret society.
The general public had no knowledge of what was going on unless you were at one of these sales meetings.
This stuff is bizarre and hilarious. Those are only the beginning layers.
I hope everyone becomes interested in it.
Yeah.
Then I could sell the ones I don't care about for lots of money.
Capitalist pig.
Well, I learned that by listening to these records. I really got motivated to sell, sell, sell.
I think it has an unexpected importance that I would never have noticed when I was holding up the records on the show.
It illuminates an American business world that doesn't exist at all anymore.
There's something about a show, if it's not being heard, then it's really gone. I feel a kinship with so many of these people. It's gone further than I've imagined. Life can be so rich and wonderful when we step off the logical path and embark on eccentric adventures.
It'll change.